catches the one. Chastain into the wall. Big contact, caution comes out again. Gabe Hart said, I only have one chance.
Kyle Larson has just delivered the most shocking confession in NASCAR history. And what he revealed about his Nashville nightmare has completely exposed the catastrophic problems plaguing Hendrick Motorsports that could destroy their entire 2025 championship hopes. 31-year-old Kyle Larson's post-race comments after the Cracker Barrel 400 have shaken the NASCAR world, revealing serious problems inside Hendrick Motorsports. What started as a simple recap of a tough race quickly turned into a harsh look at the team's deeper struggles. His blunt honesty about the chaos behind the scenes makes it clear. Something is seriously broken at NASCAR's top team, and Larson might not stick around to fix it. What a race! Well, so far we've got one positive. We stayed on the lead lap and we have an opening into the pit box now. Yay! Larson's sarcastic radio transmission revealed during the race, but this wasn't just frustration talking. This was a public humiliation of his own team broadcast live to millions of fans. The devastating sarcasm in that radio call has exposed the toxic atmosphere that's been festering inside the number 5 team, and Larson's willingness to publicly mock his own organization during a live race represents a complete breakdown in team unity that could have catastrophic consequences for Hendrick's championship ambitions. But the real shock came when Larson opened up after the race saying, "It's weird. One of the happiest 8th places, but God, you just hate to run 8th. It was a rare moment of honesty that showed just how frustrated and fed up he really is. Even when things go right, it still feels wrong. Kyle Larson calling 8th place one of his happiest finishes says it all. That's not a champion's mindset. It's a sign of deeper problems at Hendrick Motorsports that wear him down. The most devastating part of Larson's confession was his brutal assessment of the team's current capabilities. This place is so hard to pass and everybody runs the same speed. You're mired in 28th and it feels worse than it actually is. But Nashville isn't uniquely difficult for other teams. Larson's struggles represent fundamental problems with Hendrick's current setup. His admission that Nashville is one of my worst tracks and every race on it goes by the same format. I start badly and go forward with the help of neat executions reveals a pattern of systemic failure that goes far beyond one bad weekend. This is a championship-caliber driver admitting that he expects to struggle at certain tracks, which represents a massive competitive disadvantage. The most shocking revelation came when Larson exposed the chaos that nearly destroyed his entire race. I got a good first couple laps, and then I can't remember who I was behind, but I think I was unsure of which lane to go, and I kind of checked up. A professional NASCAR driver who can't remember basic race details and admits to being unsure about racing lines represents a level of confusion and disorientation that's absolutely alarming for a Hendrick Motorsports operation that's supposed to be elite-level professional. The Lap 5 incident that sent Larson plummeting from 28th to 36th wasn't just bad luck. It was systematic failure in communication and preparation. I think Smith was right inside me. I haven't seen a replay. Maybe he just drove in hard and got me, but there was some stack up a little bit. When your driver doesn't even understand what happened during crucial moments of the race, that suggests fundamental breakdowns in real-time communication and situational awareness that could cost championships. But perhaps the most damaging admission was Larson's confession about the near crashes that dominated his Nashville experience. They just started crashing in front of me. I was crashing myself, but thankfully got it well down enough and didn't get into the wall, and then didn't get into them. I almost crashed once into turn 3 by myself. This isn't the controlled aggression of a championship driver. This is barely contained chaos where Larson admits to crashing myself and nearly wrecking by myself. These aren't racing incidents caused by competition. These are unforced errors that suggest serious problems with car setup or driver confidence. The team's desperate attempts to salvage the situation were equally telling. The wedge, the track bar, and the front suspension were all worked on to aid Larson. The team had to make a huge adjustment during a caution that required pitting twice to make the car drivable. When you have to pit twice just to make the car drivable, that's not fine-tuning. That's emergency damage control on a fundamental setup failure. Hendrick Motorsports is supposed to show up with competitive cars, not vehicles that require complete reconstruction during the race. Larson's pre-race expectations were equally damning. "I know our car is much better than 28th, we've got time to get to the front." But this confidence was immediately shattered by reality, revealing a dangerous disconnect between the team's expectations and their actual performance capabilities. His qualifying struggles exposed deeper problems. "I just didn't really have the confidence where to drive into and what angle and all that. Unfortunately, didn't qualify where we wanted to." When a veteran driver lacks confidence in basic racing fundamentals, that suggests systematic issues with car preparation and driver-crew communication. The most devastating context for Larson's Nashville confession is how it follows his catastrophic Memorial Day weekend, where he crashed out of both the Indianapolis 500 and Coca-Cola 600. Coming off a disappointing Indianapolis 500 Coke 600 double attempt in which he failed to finish either race, Larson entered Nashville race weekend looking for a much-needed positive result. Instead of bouncing back with dominant performance, Larson delivered one of the most chaotic and error-prone races of his career, suggesting that the problems from Memorial Day weekend are systematic rather than isolated incidents. His admission that he was just glad that he didn't have to come to Nashville again this season represents the mindset of someone who has been broken by repeated failure rather than motivated by championship aspirations. The broader implications for Hendrick Motorsports are catastrophic. With missing out on stage points, the number 5 crew gained only 29 points at the end of the night for their efforts. It's a whole 19 points fewer than his teammate and regular season championship rival William Byron earned on Sunday night. The result is a 48-point deficit to the number 24 team. Larson is now 48 points behind his own teammate, which represents not just individual struggles, but systematic favoritism or resource allocation problems within Hendrick that could destroy team chemistry completely. Kyle Larson's post-race comments in Nashville revealed more than just frustration. They showed a driver trying to stay positive while clearly fed up. His praise for his team sounded more like damage control, and his talk about racing in Australia hints he's already thinking beyond NASCAR. When your top driver is openly looking elsewhere, that's not a side project. It's a warning sign. Larson's honesty shows he may be nearing his limit with Hendrick Motorsports, and if things don't improve fast, it could cost them their best chance at a title and maybe even their star driver.